guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I never ever film here because of just the stuff that I have here, but basically the time has come and I need to be able to read off of my computer because yeah, I film on my phone, so I'm unable to obviously do that. So this video is going to be reading some official statements by Alicia herself. I said in a video that I would fully approach this conversation if and when Alicia decides to address what is happening. I said that, so I'm going to honour it, and I will, without going into too much detail, airing out what's already been aired out. Like let's all think of the children. Like I don't want to be doing that. Not meaning to say that other channels aren't, it's just that I just don't want to draw any more attention to the kids in particular. But I did say that if Alicia addresses what is going on, I will of course comment on it. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reading the post. So a creator called Cursed Eye, who I haven't watched all of her videos, but I've watched some, and I will say actually I really do quite enjoy her content. I've not spoken to her. This is the very first time I'm ever addressing her. I've never spoken to her off, like on chat or anything, but I do actually quite enjoy her opinion, some of her opinions, so definitely go check her out, because yeah, I enjoy like her editing style. She's got quite a lot of, she's quite good at editing. I've seen some of her cuts and it's good. I can't speak for everything she does because I haven't seen it all, but I would say I do quite enjoy her takes on some things. Anyway, so she did a video, I believe this is a video, that Alicia basically responded to by addressing the whole bio-mum, what is happening with the kids. Alicia actually responded, which to be honest with you, I'm completely shocked by. I didn't actually think that she would address this whatsoever. I thought she was just going to do what she normally does, but she actually gave quite a good in-depth reply, more so than we have ever experienced ever. So this is, you know, it's pretty major. So I'm literally just realizing now that this eyebrow is fuller than this eyebrow, and oh, that is so infuriating. That is so annoying. Oh well, like what this eyebrow is, this eyebrow's right. Okay, just ignore it. I'm going to cover it slightly so that we don't have to look at it anymore. Just to clear something up, I am still allowed to post them on our social media if they want to join our videos. It was agreed upon in court 11 months ago by the judge with myself, mum, dad and CPS. Now this is super interesting. This is interesting because the bio-mum has basically turned around and said that Alicia is filming her children, the two kids, without her consent. It was agreed upon in court that she wouldn't be filming her children, and I always thought this was slightly off because basically from the moment they got the new kids, they actually filmed themselves going into like a Walmart and picking out their stuff, and I'm just thinking, if it was agreed upon in court, you wouldn't, by literally going, by agreeing, if you agree in a court, it is official, and if you break those terms of whatever, there's huge legal ramifications. And I have never been through the system like this with like CPS. I've never been through that, but I have been through a family court when me and my ex split up, for instance. Whatever you agree upon, whatever visiting, whatever you agree on, you've got to abide by it, otherwise there are big penalties. And I'm just thinking, like, no one is gonna risk that. Like, no one is gonna risk being like, yeah, okay, we won't show your kids, to literally the second that she has them, filming them. I think anyone's ever gonna do that, especially since she already has other kids that she fosters, adopts. Do you know what I mean? She already has other kids. So it's just, it's really, it just, for me, it didn't really abode very well. Not only that, but the bio-mum has also been saying that she had no idea that her kids were even being filmed, which once again, I don't entirely agree. And there is some evidence to back this up. People, I believe on the Reddit thread, shout out Reddit thread, basically screenshotted it, I think from Auntie Lauren. There's just so many side characters in this kerfuffle. There's just so many side characters. I don't know if we should actually call this a kerfuffle, because a kerfuffle is meant to be like a sweet and endearing thing. I don't know, you guys can decide this one. Auntie Lauren managed to pull out some screenshots of the bio mum basically commenting on footage that does include her kids, such as like there was an AirPod one and then there was another one of her kid playing sport, something a bit like that, so I'll leave them up here. So I'm not buying it. She has the ability to move the kids if she truly does not want them living here. She can find them a different resource placement. That's not happened. This is quite interesting because, and by the way, I'm not necessarily siding with Alicia, so don't think of it like that. I just literally want to give my own 2 cents and we will get more onto what I think about what Alicia's doing. Bio mum clearly has the ability to move them and find them a different space, but she's not doing that. So if Alicia was such a, you know, mean, nasty, if Alicia is exactly as the bio mum is saying, all the personality traits that the bio mum is saying she is, then surely you would just want to move the kids. That there's a lot of speculation going around that there could be like a need and a desire for money from the bio mum. I've heard that going about quite a lot. If Alicia's telling the truth, then no other resource placement has been found. And the thing is, and I am going to echo what I've seen quite a lot of other creators saying, is that Alicia might be heavily exploitative on camera and she might do some extremely questionable things and be a bit crappy sometimes, but there's no guaranteeing where the kids will go to. And for people to suddenly be like, yeah, you know, like the best place for them is like back in the system, it's not going to be with the bio mum because, you know, she hasn't been granted permission to actually have them back in her care yet, so they'll go back into the system. And I've never been in the system, but from what I've gathered from what people are saying, it's not somewhere that you want to be. Have the system compared to Alicia's house, you're probably going to choose Alicia's house, and that's just my own personal opinion. Cursed Eye then responded, "Thank you for clearing the air. Is it something you want? A lot of noise was made about you and Josh callously kicking them out, ignoring your social media platform. Do you want them out?" Yeah, I heard about this. This was actually one of the very first claims that ever came out, which is actually one of the things that I got most annoyed about. Was apparently Alicia kicked them out of the house because they wouldn't appear on social media, which doesn't quite add up because now one of the kids has actually taken a social media break. So that whole story made absolutely zero sense. The bio mum was adamant that basically she's managed to get the kids kicked out of the house. They've been kicked out of the house. Alicia's kicked them out. Alicia's grounding her kids because they don't want to appear on social media. But then fast forward to now, she's actually allowing those kids not to be on social media. I think the main takeaway from all of this is that if Alicia hadn't have put the kids on social media in the very first place, none of this would have happened. Whether or not the bio mum's intentions are pure, honest, good, whatever, none of this would have happened if Alicia hadn't have put her kids in the spotlight this much, hadn't have made so much money off of these kids. It boils down to the fact that if Alicia hadn't have done this in the very first place, then this wouldn't have happened. But two wrongs do not make a right. The bio mum is acting out and she's been doing all sorts of mad stuff as well. I shifted my content in the new year away from the kids to just me being a mum. Everyone is dragging up videos from 3 years ago as if I posted them today. My social media has evolved as I learn and grow. I've apologised to people in my life who I owed an apology. Now, this is really interesting because, as a lot of people are saying, her TikTok is still absolutely filled with her kids. Her YouTube channel, yes, I will say that. And I actually did say this before this even happened. She has been a lot quieter about, you know, she hasn't showed her kids as much. And this is true. This is true. She doesn't, but then again, on her TikTok and Instagram, she still is heavily doing all these shorts and stuff with her kids. I mean, a majority of the comments are talking about, hey, I really want to see this child. Hey, da-da-da-da-da. You know, it's still a family channel. And some other people are saying as well, and I did watch a little bit of this, the Dad Challenge podcast had Heather Bell, who is the mum from Just the Bells 10, had her on a podcast, and basically it was almost word for word what she's saying. Heather, you know, heavily regrets the amount of exposure that she gave her kids, and she's been trying to make right, and she's been, you know, trying to learn and evolve as she goes and all of this. And then Alicia's basically saying the same thing as well. What I will say is that she has shifted her content slightly, and I will give her credit for that. She has. Is this because other mums, such as Just the Bells 10, is saying you know, is wanting to take a step back from this? Is she just following suit? We've moved on. There's no need to rehash videos from the past. We've moved on from them. If you've moved on from them, it might be a good idea to take them down. Maybe she's like referring to like older videos where she's saying that where she's going on about, you know, feed to alcohol syndrome and the type of diet those kids need, and, you know, the whole chlorine pool kerfuffle, all of that they were old videos. You know, they were old videos. Her saying that she doesn't make any money from social media is an old video. These videos do keep on getting brought up, but a lot of us commentary channels that have been covering her I've covered her for about a year now, those things are what I covered at the very beginning, and that was almost a year ago, so people are still bringing that up. Kids will stay here. We are not kicking them out. They wish to live with us, and the court will most likely honour that. This is very interesting, because if she's saying that the kids want to live with her, everyone just needs to back off. And this may not even mean, you know, some people can say that, oh, Alicia's manipulating them. Maybe she is. Maybe she is. Who are we to know? No one's actually going to know unless you're there. And this is the whole crux of it. The court will likely honour that. I do personally think, just from an outsider perspective, that the court would probably honour that. You know, the bio mum is going on about how all of her kids have blocked her on social media. She's going on, so she's literally on her own YouTube channel, telling everyone, saying all of this different stuff. You can go and look for yourself. I don't really want to post them here. Going on like Facebook rants, Facebook rampages, not really making a lot of sense a lot of the time. And I do have sympathy. Like, I have a lot of sympathy for people who are in recovery. I have a lot of sympathy towards people who are trying, but unfortunately it doesn't look good when you say that you're trying, but you're there on Facebook making all these wild accusations, partnering up with channels that do not have the kids' best interests. That doesn't make it, that isn't good. We love them and want them to be able to have the happy childhood they deserve. Well, what's left of it? And this is, I really did appreciate this comment. This is actually the only time that I've ever seen her address any kerfuffle, any gate, any situation that has ever happened. Once again, I don't know if I'd actually call this a kerfuffle, because this is quite serious. You know, it's sad when she said, well, what's left of it? You know, it is sad. A lot of these kids have been put through a lot of hell, and a lot of people will say, well, they're being put through hell by being blasted all over social media. And a lot of that might be true, but you'll never really to know. I personally don't think that her kids' trauma and all of their different stuff belongs on the internet. I don't. I really don't. If what she's saying is true, by where she's like, you know, I want to grow, I want to become a better channel, I've taken my kids, or I'm not, you know, if she does that and she stops talking about her kids' ins and outs, great. I've literally been here saying for the longest time that she would just do really good just focusing on her as a mum and not adding her children into it. That is great. That's what you need. But what we don't need is, you know, making up all this different stuff. At this present moment, this is what she said. I said that I'd address it when she does. This is what she said, and if she is telling the truth, the kids are fine in her care, and any outside noise trying to intervene of this isn't good, because by the sounds of it, they wouldn't go back to the bio mum anyway. They'd go into the system. It's such a sensitive topic, but I think what she's saying is important, and it should be acknowledged, because it's the very first time that she has ever acknowledged anything, quite literally anything, and actually spoke from the heart. I don't know, I felt like I was actually listening to her speak rather than just her little 3 orange hearts. This isn't to say I'm like now an Alicia fan, that's not it, because I still do have a lot of critique for her, but when we're talking about children, it's a very serious topic, and I think even she knows this. It's a very serious topic. Anyway, that's literally all I wanted to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.